When people think of Dead or Alive, they usually think of the spectacle. Flashy animations, fast rounds, and the fan service. But beneath the speed, the visual flares, its reputation, Dead or Alive is a fighting game built around one dangerous idea. It never lets you relax. Its depth isn't hidden behind long combos or difficult execution. There is some of that, but not really a major factor. It's hidden in the constant pressure to make the right decision. Every second in a match does matter, and that is something that most players will never stick around long enough to even notice. Before we go any further, I genuinely want to ask a question. What do you actually think of Dead or Alive? Not the memes, not its reputation, your honest opinion. Because whenever I try and approach things, I always come in with one rule.
Be curious, not judgmental.
Be curious and not judgmental. And with DOA, it often feels like people have already made up their minds without even asking or questioning why the game works the way it does.
DOA, first of all, let me tell you, DOA is trash. Like the worst, ultimate laughing stock of a 3D fighting game. Nobody has respected that game ever. Unless, you're one of those, right?
Dead or Alive is often described as easy to pick up. I didn't get that reputation from nowhere. Its core is immediately readable. Strikes beat throws, throws beat holds, holds beat strikes. You get fast feedback and early success. The game makes you feel competent almost right away, and that's kind of the point. Those early tools, flashy launchers, long strings, panic holds, work just well enough to build habits that don't scale. At a casual level, Dead or Alive rewards confidence. At a competitive level, it punishes assumptions. Those big launchers, generally quite punishable and somewhat linear. Those long strings, why not try and hold them? The defensive guessing? A damage multiplier aimed right back at you. You just start feeling when you actually understand when you can get away with things. The game never tells you when you've gone from learning into autopilot. It just starts taking away your control, your momentum, and eventually the match. Because generally speaking, the game will punish you for not understanding its rules. Most fighting games do this. However, Dead or Alive is exceptionally punishing if you do not understand the full scale of what's happening. This is where Dead or Alive quietly separates itself from other 3D fighting games. Let's take the concept of sidestepping from every other 3D fighting game. Sidestepping isn't just a powerful tool because it wins exchanges, it's powerful because it never lets your movement feel automatic. In most 3D fighting games, stages exist within a familiar geometry. For example, a square, a rectangle, or an octagon. Once you learn those shapes, your brain offloads the work. You can kind of guesstimate some of the distances you will have to go before you hit a wall, or maybe get a ring out. Dead or Alive refuses that luxury. Movement isn't just a secondary act, it's part of your cognitive stack. Because the moment you move, you're not just asking, would this move track? You're asking, where am I standing now? What happens if I get launched here? Or maybe if you got hold here? What if they threw me? Or did the step put you closer to a wall? Or a slope? Or maybe a coconut's gonna fall off the tree? Maybe there's a bit of water there so you can get a specific grab? Or is there something absurdly specific like a pool table, a tank, or even a dinosaur egg? The uneven and hostile stages often make movement never feel wasted or unnatural. Every adjustment reshapes the risk. You have to pay attention to both parties' risk, whether you've made it better for yourself or worse for yourself. Can the opponent do something to punish you, or can you do something to punish them? Now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough credit: the stages. In DOA, stages are not just the background. They're an active participant in the match. Walls, cliffs, slopes, danger zones, water is an enemy in this game. Every stage changes damage, pressure, and even how movement works in some cases. Can a coconut fall on your head? A launcher near a wall no longer just means a combo, It's potentially got guaranteed follow-up leading to a death combo. It's a threat of terrain damaging you or forced to wake up after taking damage from an octopus. And the genius part about this? Stage interactions aren't random. High-level players route combos based around where they are. It's not just about what the character they're using. A combo that is optimal mid-stage may be wrong near a wall, but it might be just the right combo to hit the explosive barrel. DOA turns spatial awareness into the execution of the game.
That won't kill. It'll get the wall though. Oh.
You're not just fighting your opponent, you're managing the environment and considering what options you may or may not have. Strip away the aesthetics from DOA and you realise that it has some of the cleanest archetypes in 3D fighting games. Speed characters control tempo, power characters dominate space, grapplers punish stillness. But DOA twists it so that everyone can participate in this guessing game of rock, paper, scissors. Holds, counters, and character-specific tools that reshape matchups. Can your character go into a stance? Is your back turn absurdly complex? Some characters thrive on conditioning, others punish hesitation. Some characters exist to stress test your discipline. Every character can do everything in this game, it's just a matter of understanding how and when you're meant to do it. Matches are not clean cut as, this person can do hold, therefore I have an advantage. Now let's talk about the mechanic that most people dismiss, but it's one that defines the game, the hold system. It's not a panic button, it's a wager. Guess wrong and you're eating counter hit damage that'll hurt more than any throw would ever do. Guess right, the momentum flips instantly. At high level, holds are fairly rare, but not because they're weak, mostly because they're dangerous, which makes every successful one feel much more meaningful than a parry in Tekken. But you're not reacting to buttons, you're reading habits. When people think of combos, they usually think of long sequences, generally from a launch into whatever follow-up they will have. But in Dead or Alive, combos are more like dynamic negotiations than memorizing sequences. You have launches, combos that mostly start off with just a launch, where specifically you have to hit timings. Is it near a wall? Can you extend? Is there a slope? Potentially a breakable object? These are generally short and might lead you to chances with follow-ups. Then you have string links. Dead or Alive strings are modular and not fixed. Certain attacks will go into other attacks because the frame advantage works so that they can go into those. Your opponent has then a chance to guess what your input will be, and if they guess right, they can hold it. Is it going to be a mid-kick or a mid-punch? The more you gambit in the string, the higher your launcher will be. This is where holds come in. Holds will act like shadow counters in Killer Instinct. You guess what your opponent's going to do, and if you're correct, you get yourself a hold. You guess wrong, you get counter hit damage. Some combos are actually designed to bait out holds, and then punish it with a throw. Others will lock the opponent out by just straight up launching, go for the quick and easy damage because you might be near the end of the round. Combos are mental pressure. Combos depend on three factors mostly: position, prediction, and the stage. Your opponent is constantly making the same decisions as you are. Are you gonna do a strike here, or will you throw me if I do a hold here? Combos are not mechanically the same as every other 3D fighting game. You don't just go for a launch. You have a strategic tool that controls space and your opponent's thoughts. When you put all this together, Dead or Alive is not really execution heavy, but it is certainly mentally heavy. You're managing positions, the environment, ongoing risks, and your opponent's psychology, all at once and all at the same time. Dead or Alive does not overwhelm you with complexity, but it does overwhelm you with context. And that's what so many people mistake for being shallow. They never go far enough for the pressure to set in. So the next time someone dismisses Dead or Alive as style over substance, they probably never made it past the beach. Before I start wrapping things up, I just want to say that this isn't me crowning Dead or Alive as the best 3D fighting game ever made. It has plenty of flaws, many of which are worthy of criticisms. You do not have to love DOA. You do not even have to like DOA. I'm just asking people to be curious instead of dismissive. Because when you actually look at DOA and what it's actually doing, the series is far more important and far more impactful than people give it credit for. But with all that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure running at you a lot. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and yeah, see you next time. Ja, matte ne yo.